Hey everyone, welcome back. I am so incredibly thrilled to have you here for another explainer. Today, we're tackling something that literally every single one of us deals with, no matter your background, your age, or your relationship status. We're talking about conflict. Specifically, we're going to walk through a step-by-step tutorial on conflict resolution. Because look, we all face friction in our relationships, right? It's just a reality when you get two imperfect human beings interacting. But the core challenge isn't actually avoiding the conflict. It's how we choose to handle it when it inevitably shows up. So today, we're going to learn exactly how to choose reconciliation over that desperate, deeply human need to just be right.
And that brings us to a really provocative question. Seriously, I want you to honestly ask yourself this. What is your goal in a conflict? Is it victory or is it unity? Think about the last time you were in the middle of a heated disagreement with your partner, a friend, or a family member. What was driving you? It is so incredibly easy to fall into this ego trap. We start treating arguments like a tennis match, where we just need to smash the ball past our opponent to score a point. We want to win. We want them to admit they were wrong. But think about the everyday reality of that. You might win the argument, sure, but your prize? Your prize is a fractured relationship, or maybe spending the night sleeping on the couch. This explainer is all about contrasting that fleeting, ego-driven desire to win against the lasting, meaningful desire to actually save and strengthen your relationship.
So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at victory versus unity. Second, attorneys versus ambassadors. Then we'll get highly practical with step 1, the ambassador's pause, followed by step 2, flipping the script. And finally, we'll anchor everything in the ultimate goal.
All right, Section 1, Victory versus Unity. Let's look at how we can actively choose peace over our own egos.
Before we can change our bad habits, we kind of have to validate the everyday human instinct that we all share. When someone criticizes us, or a disagreement sparks over, say, whose turn it is to take out the trash, or how to manage the monthly budget, our defenses immediately go up. We want to win the argument at all costs, just to protect our pride. But that instinct, if we leave it unchecked, is so destructive. Conflict is inevitable, but division is a choice. I absolutely love that phrasing. Disagreements are going to happen to everyone. You simply cannot live life closely with another human being and expect a totally friction-free existence. But, and this is a massive but, we have the absolute power to decide if we're going to let those disagreements divide us. The conflict itself isn't the failure. Allowing it to tear us apart, that's the failure. And that part is entirely our choice. Let's be real about how we typically manage that choice. When things get heated, a lot of us default to withdrawing completely. We give our partner the silent treatment, we shut down, we retreat behind a brick wall. Or we go the other way and explode in anger. We raise our voices and say things we definitely don't mean, all because a damp towel was left on the floor or a text message was ignored. I really want to challenge you right now to recognize which of those two negative habits you personally lean toward and commit to moving toward that third option, actively seeking peace and unity.
Moving into Section 2, Attorneys versus Ambassadors, and the major mindset shift required to get us there.
This is where we introduce the biblical blueprint that completely shifts our mindset during a fight. To truly seek peace, we literally have to change our identity. Take a look at this foundational verse from 2 Corinthians. It says, "All this is from God who through Christ reconciled us to himself and gave us the ministry of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors." As reconciled people, we aren't just passive recipients of grace. We are actually given a sacred job. We've been handed the ministry of reconciliation, which means our primary duty is to replicate God's reconciling work right in our own relationships.
So in any disagreement, you basically face two options. On one hand, you have the ego-driven desire to act as an attorney for the prosecution. When you're playing the attorney, your only goal is to prove a point. You build a case. You pull out mental receipts from some random argument you had 3 years ago, just to prove your partner has a pattern of being wrong. But on the other hand, we have our actual biblical calling, acting as an ambassador of peace. And an ambassador's goal? It isn't to win a debate. Their goal is to restore the connection and represent the kingdom they come from.
The absolutely crucial point here is that we have to follow God's model. His method with us was costly reconciliation, not condemnation. Think of forgiveness like canceling a massive financial debt. Tearing up that IOU costs you your pride, and it costs you your right to collect on their mistake, but it completely buys back the relationship. Because God chose costly reconciliation over condemnation with us, we absolutely must stop treating our partner, our spouse, or our friend like they're the enemy.
Okay, Section 3, Step 1, The ambassador's pause.
Time to get highly practical. This is an incredibly actionable tool, especially designed to help married couples halt the rapid escalation of a fight. I want you to literally memorize these 3 steps. Just picture this. You're in the kitchen, the tension is rising over some silly misunderstanding, and voices are getting tight. Before it boils over, step 1. One of you has the courage to literally say out loud, "Time out. We are ambassadors for Christ right now." Just saying those words completely shifts the atmosphere in the room. Then, step 2, you stop and pray together for just 1 minute. It doesn't have to be eloquent at all. And step 3, you ask God for soft hearts, wisdom, and reconciliation. Notice what you don't ask for. You explicitly do not ask Him to prove you right. It's a brilliant intervention because it forces you to pause and invites God into a chaotic moment, and it completely neutralizes that ego trap we talked about earlier.
Right into section 4, step 2, flipping the script.
Now, this step is actionable for absolutely everyone, whether you're married, dating, or single. The words we choose literally frame the reality we experience. When we're fighting to win, we point the finger across the table and say, "You hurt me." It automatically makes the other person the enemy. But when we're fighting for unity, we flip the script. We say, "Our connection is worth fighting for together." Do you feel the difference there? Suddenly, it's like you're both sitting on the same side of the table, and the conflict itself is the problem on the other side. You start seeing the conflict, rather than the person, as the actual enemy that the two of you must defeat together.
And this mindset applies directly to singles and anyone in an early dating relationship. Please do not wait until you're married to learn healthy communication. Start right now. You can practice this in minor disagreements today, like when a friend flakes on plans at the last minute, or there's some weird misunderstanding in the group chat. Prioritize the friendship over the issue itself. Lead with that powerful question. Can we find a way through this together? Being an ambassador isn't a switch you flip on your wedding day. It's a habit you build day by day.
And that brings us to section 5, the ultimate goal, restored connection. So after we've hit pause, after we've prayed, and after we've flipped the script, we have to keep our eyes locked on our objective. Imagine just sitting quietly on a dock with your partner, looking out at the sunset, feeling completely at peace with each other. The goal is restored connection driven entirely by grace. This is the beautiful, real-world result of prioritizing peace and unity over our own fragile egos. When you finally let go of the need to be the attorney and fully embrace the role of the ambassador, this level of deep, trusting connection is exactly what you are fighting for.
I really want to present you with this week's powerful declaration. We are ministers of reconciliation. We refuse to weaponize conflict. Just think about what weaponizing actually means. It means taking someone's vulnerabilities, or their past mistakes, or their deep insecurities, and using those things against them just to win an argument. We must refuse to do that. No way. Our goal is always restored connection, fueled by the exact same grace that reconciled us to God.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to chew on, maybe talk about with your partner, or even journal about today. Let's talk. What is a phrase or a question that helps de-escalate conflict and turn it toward reconciliation in your relationships? Earlier, we talked about saying, our connection is worth fighting for, but what is your unique peacemaking tool? I challenge you to find it, practice it, and use it to build bridges instead of walls. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Keep learning, keep growing, and I will see you in the next explainer.